Yeah, it's very scary. It gets back to my point about how it feels like in this transformation of in this business where we're going through a very serious transformation of financials. The question is, who is reading newspapers anymore, and can a media organization make any money with that same information that you put in a newspaper? Can you make money putting that on the internet? I've had ad executives tell me that one ad in a newspaper, it takes probably 20 ads on an internet site to make up for one ad on a newspaper. That's a pretty scary thing. So I think those questions are, I think the hunger for the information is still there. People still want to read about the State B basketball tournament. People still want to read about the local track meets and what's going on in the state of South Dakota. I think there is, in some sense, the local news market, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this is just my observation. It feels like if you have a handle, or if you have a handle on the local market of information in sports, news, weather, whatever, people are still going to be there. But the question is, will the readership make the transformation from the newspaper to the internet? That is the question. I don't know. I think we're still trying to find out whether or not they'll do that. But certainly, the reason there are not as many reporters covering the State B like there was when I was there, it's finances. Sometimes you get a feeling that within upper management, I can say this now because I'm self-employed, in upper management, there's a real lack of respect for reporting and what it takes to get good stories, and what it takes to get good stories that are written now and appreciated 50 years down the road. I mean, Mark's book, for instance, is a result of great reporting in the 30s and the 40s that he researched and took hours and hours and hours to do. Where is that coming from now? John and I were talking this morning. He has all he can do. Everybody in the business has all they can do to just keep getting the information together. And it feels like in the world of journalism, it's more important to have a sappy opinion, or an opinion that gathers steam so that you get people coming to your website and getting into a political fight. That's what's making money nowadays, and not good reporting where you have shoe leather people at the games understanding history. I mean, you can report, you can go to the State B basketball tournament and you can get somebody to call in that Joe Johnson scored 18 points and so-and-so had 10 rebounds and the Chargers had 15 points in the fourth quarter. You can get all that, but what people in the business don't understand, or people who are running the business don't understand, is that you need people there, a reporter, who will talk and gather the information. It's just by osmosis. If you have a reporter there, it's more important and it's a lot better than somebody just calling them in on the phone. React to that, guys. I don't want to.
And then too, when the reporter's there, I mean, in our case, that reporter brings back 5 different things and stories, and I mean, there's all kinds of things it leads to. I mean, the being there in person is very, very important. And what Mel said earlier is, boy, that's just so true about the reporting thing. Nowadays, to some of the young people that come out, they're into what their opinion is, and it's not that shoe leather, it's not that reporting, and it's scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by the way, nice job of getting the Hamlin Chargers reference in there too.
That's right. Bridgewater Wildcats.
Well, and the thing is, and you're absolutely right, Mel, because if I read on Twitter that Joe Johnson scored 18 points, that gives me absolutely no feel for the game. Was he, 6 of 8? Was he 6 of 30?
Right.
Was he,
were they doing a box and one on one of his teammates?
Exactly. How did any of that happen? Facts don't always equate into the story, and so consequently, that's what good writers do, and frankly good broadcasters, is they tell the story. It still comes back. It's almost primeval. We're storytellers. That's what humans do. That's how we keep our history alive. That's what you guys all have a passion for. One of the things that I was so lucky to be involved in the documentary with Kings of the Court. Thanks, I'd forgotten what it was called.
Such a memorable beat.
That's right. But Joe Jalostas is here from Public Broadcasting, and the job that those guys did, researching that over the course of the years and putting that all together, it was absolutely wonderful. But the thing that is so hit and miss about history and sports was that debuted on the Sunday night after the state championship game for the boys tournament. It was already wrong, because on Saturday night, O'Gorman had broken a couple of the records that are talked about in that documentary. So that's how the target keeps moving. And that's the thing that I don't think we're grabbing when we just simply rely on tweets or mobile uploads and that sort of thing, is the basic storytelling of what happened with that event or with that person specifically. And that's one of the things that both these guys are excellent at, is focusing in on the individual involved. Yes, it's great to tell the story about the team and those types of things, but also finding out about what's going on in Joe Johnson's life, for instance, or did he have some inspiration for this game? Did he have some motivation for that game? And that all comes back to good storytelling as well.
And then the other thing that's dying, and it's very, very unfortunate, is the record keeping.
Oh, yeah.
That's just going by the wayside. There at the American News, we've got a vault, and it's a gold vault. We've got every high school state champion ever. 1906 track, I can tell you who won the high jump.
Ooh.
We've got everything.
Come on, John, prove it.
Not off the top of my head. Give me my database. I lost my database. But anyway, we can do that. But when I'm gone, is that going to be maintained? There's no one sure. When we did this project, the South Dakota Intercollegiate Conference, a lot of you probably remember that. That was a very, very prominent conference, right with the North Central Conference. When we did this project, I went to try to find some SDIC records, and I was told, well, the guy in Huron has them. Went to him? No. Guy in Yankton, though, has them. I know he has them. No. They're not to be found. That conference, and now maybe somebody's got it. But boy, and to maintain all that stuff, like all those databases that we have, I'm in there punching every week, something in there. Mel with the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's running that. This guy is, tremendously busy, and here he is, God bless him, Lake Northern, South Dakota, the Baseball Hall of Fame, South Dakota Baseball Hall of Fame. And just imagine how hard that is. I can't even fathom that, because I have a hard enough time doing what I'm doing, and I'm right in the middle of it. But he's running the Hall of Fame there and trying to keep that going. My gosh.
Well, I think running the Hall of Fame is a little strong, but
Okay.
my sister, I just turned it over to my sister.
Yeah, good.
But the point is, there has to be a renewed sense of history to keep these things going. We have all these tools to keep it going, but it's a very difficult thing. And what John is saying, what Mike is saying, is you have to have people appreciate the reporting aspect, which takes in a lot of research, and then somebody that wants to